Hi, Sherry Collin from Mini Doll Kits, and this is part 2 of our padding tutorials refining the figure. We'll start with the supplies. Some things you'll need are tacky glue or white glue, rolled gauze like you use for first aid, cotton balls, scissors, a rotary tool, some kind of measuring tool, a cup of water, and a cutting mat helps. Before we begin, you'll need to take your gauze and cut it into 1 inch by 6 inch strips. If you're looking to give your doll a little bit fuller figure, you'll want to pad it out. We'll use Mrs. Patmore to demonstrate how to do this, filling in all the areas that need a little more bulk. So let's do it. We'll start in the stomach area with our gauze strips and cotton balls. Now what I like to do is simply put a little dot of glue on any area that I want to pad out. Notice it's not a lot of glue, just enough to tack it in place. There's no need to saturate the cotton ball with glue. Take the cotton ball and press it firmly down into the glue, like this. To make the hips fuller, take a cotton ball and divide it into 2 equal pieces. I think I need a little more on this side. Maybe a little more. Yep, it looks pretty good. So what I'll do is roll these 2 pieces in my hand to form a tube. Then I'm going to put a line of glue down the side of the doll about the length of that cotton that I just rolled up, and I will take the cotton and press it firmly onto the line of glue. Alright, so we want a little junk in the trunk, and I'm just going to roll up the remaining cotton. Shape it. Put my glue on the back side. And again, press that firmly into the doll. And at this point, it looks like a right good mess, but it won't once we start wrapping it with the gauze. So we'll begin by taking our strip of gauze that we cut previously, and what we'll want to do is put a line of glue on the short end of the gauze. Now, starting with the back side of the doll, just press that gauze strip into the doll and the cotton ball and start wrapping around to the back side and then back again around to the front. And if some of the cotton balls are misbehaving and getting out of place, you can just tuck them back where they need to be and wrap on. Now I'm going to add another strip here. I don't even really need to glue this because when I wrap it around again, it's going to secure it in place. Here we go with another gauze strip, and I'm going to bring it down into the leg area. And because Mrs. Patmore here is wearing a dress, I'm just going to wrap the legs as if this were a slip. Now, if this were a doll that had pants on, I would wrap the legs individually. So when we get around to the back side, we'll tuck one final piece of gauze around the front of Mrs. Patmore, pulling it a little bit tighter than before. You don't see it here, but I'm going to just tack that in place with some glue. Now, when I look at her from the side, I realize that she may need to be fluffed out just a little bit more, and we can go back and do this by just adding more cotton balls. So I'll put A bit more padding here on the side. Same thing on the other side. And I need her stomach to be just a little bit fuller, so I'll take that remaining piece of cotton and just fold it over right here. Now, once again, we'll do the wrapping. Stretching it tight, checking it to make sure I like the way it looks, and then when I do and I get around to the back side, I'm going to cut the excess gauze, line of glue, and press. Just getting some of the loose pieces tacked down. Oh, I think she looks really good. Now the next thing I want to do is to add some breasts. Yes, she's a little flat for how full figured she is. So I'm going to take a cotton ball, I'm cutting this about the length of my finger. Fold it in half so that I have two equally sized pieces. Then roll it into a ball. Here's where the water comes in. In order to get the cotton to behave and stay in the shape of a ball, I just wet it and roll it again. There we go. Dip this one and do the same thing. Not quite done. Okay, that'll do. Moving on, we'll put 2 dots of glue on the left and right chest sides, like this. Then we'll place the cotton ball breasts onto Mrs. Patmore. Press them in and look at them to see if they are about the same size. If they're not, just do a little snipping and reshaping. Now, what we're going to do here is make a little camisole, so to speak, for Mrs. Patmore. And we'll start by putting a bead of glue in between the 2 cotton balls. Take one of your gauze strips, about the center of it, and press it down in between the 2 cotton balls where you just laid that line of glue, and wrap it around to the back of the doll, making sure to keep your hand on the glue strip. You can shape a little bit more. And then I like to cross over in the back and stretch it really good underneath the chest area to define the breasts a little more. So you see I'm pulling it pretty tightly here. End up on the side where I will put another bead of glue to tack that gauze strip down. She's looking pretty good. So snip it with the scissors, bead of glue, and press. And there's your camisole. Now you might want to tack down the top with a little bit of glue and any loose areas. Now I'm taking a look at this and I think that the slip area could use a little more tidying up. So I'll just wrap another gauze strip around it, cut, and secure. And there you have it, a nice, plump, refined figure for Mrs. Patmore. Join me in part 3 of our padding tutorial to learn how to set the figure. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next Mini Doll Kits tutorial.